Hi there, my name is Camille and I want to talk to you about my online course and why I'm so excited for you to be part of it. So when I was in my early 20s, I went to university and I was studying genetics. And although I enjoyed it, I was becoming disheartened with just the scientific culture and the way it was all about money, and didn't seem to be any more just about studying something to find the truth. And at that time, I had the opportunity to study craniosacral therapy. It happened to be happening in Edinburgh, which is where I lived, and I had horses, so I didn't have to go down to London and study. So I thought, I'm going to leave university and I'm going to do this craniosacral therapy, which I didn't really know a lot about. And it was just a great thing for me. It felt like doing something real, and I started doing it with the horses and with clients' horses, and because at the time I was also teaching a little bit dressage and that kind of thing, and it just went really well. And I was maybe doing that for nearly 10 years in Scotland. When I got to this point where again I was getting a little bit disillusioned, because I realised that I was treating people's horses and I was taking away their compensations that they needed to defend themselves from their lives, basically. Maybe sometimes it would be how they were being ridden, other times it would be how they were being kept. But I realised that there was a problem and I wasn't helping these horses. In fact, I was making them more vulnerable. So my sister and I decided we wanted to just focus on our horses and find out what it really was that they needed, what made them happy, what made it okay to keep horses, and maybe it wasn't okay to keep horses out of the wild. So we moved to France. So we learned about barefoot, and we learned about keeping horses in a herd, and we learned about how important it is that they have friends and they move and that they have natural food. And we learned a lot of things, and we also learned about how to ride a horse with your posture and all about engagement and how it's a real postural mechanism in a horse. And it was great, and we learned a lot of things that were helping to make us able to connect closer with the horses and to understand who they were and have more of a relationship. So during all of this time, I was starting to integrate or apply more and more what I had learned from the craniosacral therapy in training and just being around horses and in general in my life. And I found that there's basically this whole other world that we're not really aware of because we're so intellectual. We're in our minds, we're thinking thoughts, and we only really see the surface of things. And through doing the craniosacral, I had learned how to feel energy, how to connect through energy. And feeling energy really means being able to feel your own body, being able to feel your own emotions. And then you start to be able to feel other people's emotions or other animals' emotions. It's like you borrow their central nervous system to do that. And that world really makes all the difference. Whatever you feel in that world affects everything in the other world, and it affects, and in my particular case, it affected the horse's behavior. And when I was riding them, if I tuned into that other world, I could get all the answers as to why they would behave or do whatever they did. So I realized I was coming to another ceiling. If I could feel that, and that was making all the difference, how could I help other people feel that? Because there's no point in teaching people if they can't feel as well. And so I started to think about maybe it's possible that other people can feel. Because in my case, it had taken me 20 years to develop that ability. So it was, obviously I didn't know if it was possible for people to learn it like relatively quickly. And when I started doing it with some people, it was amazing. It's hard to describe energy in words. It's about sensations. It's about feelings. It's about ideas, but ideas through sensation. It's a bit like if you imagine a person and you know who they are, you can feel their personality. It's a bit like their personality has a shape, almost like a physical shape, a colour, a texture. So I need to remember to say that it's not just about communication and visualising what's happening for others and being able to dialogue and connect with them. It's also about healing. I learned this energetic perspective in a healing context because I was an alternative therapist. So that goes without saying, but this is something that is a healing practice and anybody can learn it. If you are open-minded and you are willing to look at your own limitations, you can learn to heal. I was getting so excited about it because other people were feeling the things that I was feeling. They were picking up emotions from their horse, they were seeing things from the past that had happened with their horse, or they were feeling physical things. But when I saw that it really doesn't need to take years, you just have to have the right stepping stones and the right guidelines, I started to think, maybe I could make this into something that could reach many people, not just the people who were able to visit me or I was able to visit them. It could be something that could really come to many people. And so that's when I started to write this course. And really it channeled itself. It wasn't an easy thing, and it's taken me over a year to write everything, to bring everything together. And it wasn't always easy, but it came from somewhere greater than me. So you don't have to have a horse, or you don't have to be a horse person to do this course. Really, if you love children, if you have children, if you just work with other people, or you love plants and trees and nature, this is open for everyone. And I'm excited to get started. So awakening your energetic connection is about you. It's about something, an innate ability that is already there. It's just gone to sleep. And this course is about waking that up.